Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on achieving sustainable product design with smart material selection. My name is Tisa Sitar. I'm a marketing officer at Infinite Simulation Systems and the moderator of this event. But before we start, I would kindly ask you to wait 1 or 2 more minutes for everyone else to join, and then we will continue. Okay, so first I would like to share some additional information with you. Please note that the webinar is being recorded and will last for approximately 1 hour. As you see on your screen, there is a small interface which you can use for some settings as minimizing or maximizing your menu for the full screen mode or choosing the audio. I want to emphasize that during the webinar, everyone is muted. You cannot unmute yourself. So in case you have a question, please not do raise your hand, but instead write your question down under the questions tab you can see on your screen as well. We will try to answer on all your questions at the end of the webinar, but in case we run out of time, don't worry. We will still provide you with the answers, including the webinar recording afterward via email. So today I'm joined by my colleague Jean-Paul Schrick, who is a marketing manager at Foritigo and who will do a very short introduction of our company first, and by Anne-Laure Chabrilat, who is a material specialist from Ansys and who is also a main speaker today and will tell you more about how to achieve sustainable product design. So Jean-Paul, the word is yours.
Yes, thank you, Tisa. Hello, everyone. My name is Jean-Paul Schrick, and I'm marketing manager with Foritigo Group. And if you want to go to the next slide, Tisa, to explain a little bit about the Foritigo Group. Foritigo Group is basically the mother company of Inoptis and Infinite. Inoptis is a PTC partner delivering solutions around Creo and Windchill. And Infinite is our company who is occupied with delivering solutions around Ansys software. So what does Infinite actually do? If you can go to the next slide. Infinite is basically a company helping customers with the design and development and optimization of their products. So we deliver simulation solutions, whereas you can minimize the number of prototypes you need, and you can actually simulate and test all kinds of different configurations. One of those specific subjects is going to be the topic of this webinar, regarding the fact that what can you do while testing out and simulating different type of materials to use in your design. So Infinite delivers not only the software for that, but also we deliver support, consultancy, and training for this object. So the bridge between Inoptis and Infinite is basically the fact that with Inoptis we help our customers design and manage their products in the whole life cycle, and Ansys delivers a very good solution where you can choose different materials. But that is up to Anne-Laure Chabrilat to tell more about it. So Anne, the floor is yours now.
Good morning. Thank you, Jean-Paul. Thank you, Tisa. So I will now go in presentation mode. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what I have planned for today, for today's webinar, is just first look at why I think looking at sustainability in design is becoming more and more of an important thing to do, but still remains quite difficult. And then I'll go through our solution in 4 steps, the kind of data we can provide and how we can help you make better material decisions with better data, how we help share information across the product development cycle, make easy environmental assessments of the designs that you're considering and the different options you're considering. And then we have a design framework for optimizing design, and I will go this as the last step. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat. So last year, I think most of the presentations I did on materials were based around sustainability, and a lot of this is due to new legislations that are coming into Europe. One of them is the Digital Product Passport, which we see here. Another one is the CSRD legislations, which make it compulsory for companies to report on their sustainability impact and show a reduction. The reason why people are also very interested in this is because to achieve net zero, or to lower your emissions, you can design them out by improving the products that you're doing and trying to use fewer materials, less materials, or less impactful materials, less impactful manufacturing processes. Or you can buy carbon credits to achieve the same thing. And the price of carbon credits is seen as likely to go up in the next few years, as some companies will be finding it difficult to get to net zero. And therefore, the financial people within the boards of companies are starting to look at this sustainability thing and putting pressure on the engineering teams to do their bit and to reduce the impact of their designs. Last year, we also had loads of questions on the PFAS, the forever chemicals, the chemicals that never disappear from the environment, as people are trying to, again, design them out. And we can help with this as well. And finally, when thinking of designing for sustainability, people are asking a lot of questions on circularity, design for repair, being able to see whether what will happen with the recycling of the products that they design. So lots of questions around this, and this makes it very difficult for an engineer when everybody knows that there's a lot of pressure as well on design cycles being reduced and people making decisions faster. So you need to consider more criteria in designs on topics that are not easy to consider, and faster. So how can we help with this? So we have tools within the Ansys portfolio, and just to make it clear, I will focus today on Ansys products, but there is a very strong partnership between Ansys and PTC. So I will also show the Creo and Windchill tools that are sold by Inoptis. So what we can do to help people, we have data, and we have tools to help make decisions around this data. Then we have tools to link this data to the design tools. So I will show how you can easily access this information within Creo and Windchill, but we have similar links to other Ansys tools, obviously, and on non-Ansys simulation tools. Then I will go into eco-design. So how can we help with the simple assessments of different designs, so you can do what-if scenarios early in design. And then we'll go into optimization. How can we look at loads of different designs and take sustainability as one of the criteria we try to optimize on. So this is what I will cover in 4 steps. So starting with materials intelligence. So just to show you what I'm talking about today is a tool called Granta MI, which is a web-based tool. So companies normally install it on an internal server, and they use it to capture some proprietary information. So some of it could come from testing for performance of the materials. It could come from the supply chain for sustainability data, or restricted substance data, or price. Loads of different places where this data come from, but basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to have a simple way to capture this data inside your company and make sure that it's reused. This data, for some, especially for sustainability and the restricted substances, there may be gaps. The supply chain may not have all the information that you require. And for this, we can provide some backup data, which gives you some information on lots of different materials. And then when you have this information, we help you link it to your simulation tools, to your CAD tools. We have some environmental assessment tools and restricted substance assessment tools, but you could also use it to do some predictions using AI ML, and you can link it to anything else using our REST API. So the idea is to create one platform shared between everybody who needs information within the company. And when it comes to sustainability, to make sure that the people who are experts in design and simulation and product development can take into consideration the company's goals when it comes to sustainability and restricted substances. And this can happen with experts from this field, feeding them the right data and the tools to help them make these decisions. So when it comes to data, as I was saying, a lot of sustainability data may come from the supply chain, but there may be gaps. And so we can help with gap filling. And so when you fill your database, you may get some data that comes from your suppliers, some data that you find on the internet, or what you have tested in the past. And you can assign different quality to the data that you have, so that if you're very secure on the data that you've tested, it could be a high quality rating. And if you have to use some of our data as backup, you might say, okay, this is based on, this is just reference data. So you may need to assign a bigger a safety factor to the data that you're less sure about. So we have information on about 4,500 materials, engineering materials. We have information about their performance, and also environmental and economic information. So you will find data on, we can also add more specific data based on different locations and different transport modes. And we also have specifically on sustainability, we have a database of restricted substances. So all the chemicals that can be used either to as part of the making of the materials, or as part of the manufacturing processes, and these are linked to the materials that that contain them. Once you have this data, we have a very simple web interface, which you can see here, which allows you to make selections using sliders. So here we have put a slider on the price, and we then look at the materials we have left, and we look here at their weight and their stiffness, but we could also look at their environmental impact as well as their resistance to impact. So you can start making decisions based on criteria you know the materials must meet, and then look at which materials help. I mean, it's easier to see on these graphs which materials best meet the requirements you're looking for. Another thing that customers find very useful is building a favorite list. So they can be built personally, so you can have your own list, or they can be built by the company for all approved materials, and also by project or product. So you can have more easier to navigate lists. So once you have this, then what we have is we have plugins for most CAD and CAE tools. So here we show Creo, and within Creo you have a little plugin that we call the Materials Gateway, which you can then open, and where you can then see different information. So here you would have at the bottom, you would have your assembly and the materials that have already been assigned to the parts. And at the top, you would have your favorite materials. And here we can see that we put into, we highlighted information that the engineers you may want the engineers to consider, such as the CO2, the price, and the embodied energy, as well as the ROHS compliance. And what you can do, you can configure this so that the columns that you see are what you want, what is most important for you in design. But you can also use colors to help guide the engineers towards the materials of interest. Because for some criteria, it might be difficult to judge whether it's good or bad. So the colors make it easier. So I'll now show a video of how this works. I need that. So we'll go to Creo and then go to Windchill. So here we have an assembly in Creo, and it's an housing with an overmolding. So this would be treated as a multi-body in Creo. So here we have, as we saw before, we have at the bottom we have the assembly, and at the top we have the list of materials from your favorite list. So these are my favorites, and you have different information available on these materials. So you can start either directly assigning materials to the part after you've checked it out from Windchill. When you assign materials, you can choose to just assign this basic material data, or if you need to do simulation afterwards, you can also check that you have the necessary material models to do the simulation as a follow-up. So here we have assigned a material for the housing and for the overbody. You can then make sure that the data is, you can see what information you have on the materials, so you can check it, and then you can see you can check it back into Windchill to make sure that this material information will then be passed on to Windchill. Within there, you can see you can check that the material information is present for that part. And you can see that within Windchill, you also have that the Granta assignment. So you can see that there is more material behind this material object that has been created. And you can see, if you check where used, which other parts this material is also used in. So you have this very useful way of checking, what is the impact of, if you have a problem with the supply chain, or if you're trying to replace a specific material, you can do it in just a few clicks, finding where it is, because you have a material object created within your PLM. And once you have this information and you have the materials assigned to all the parts that you're designing, you can then start doing some environmental assessments. Same way that you're doing some weight assessments or some price assessments, you can do environmental assessments and compliance assessments. So I will show you now a quick video on this. So here we're back in Creo. We have different parts. We also have the gateway open. We have the same as before. We have different assemblies with without any materials assigned. So we can check. We can open data sheets in the gateway the same way that we can in the software itself. We can use favorite lists, as I was showing before, and we can do some searching. So we can use any of the properties available in the material cards to as a criteria. We can also see the same scatter plots that I was showing you before. So here we have, from our favorite list, we only have 3 or 4 steels, and we can add some criteria. So here we wanted to have a recyclable material with a high yield strength. Now that we have this material, we are assigning it to the base plate. And now what we're going to do from the gateway, we're going to view it in the BOM analyzer. So now we're going to analyze the BOM, and we can analyze it for restricted substances or for sustainability. So here we're looking at which materials have the biggest impact on the CO2, on climate change, and we can check one scenario against another. So here we had the baseline, and we're trying to see whether the changes that we've made have made a positive impact on the climate change. And we can see what the impact of each material is. So I hope that was clear. So now that we've done this, so we've looked at materials, we've used them to make choices, we have assigned materials to our designs in an easy way. We have checked the environmental impact of different designs. Now what we want to do is we want to go further, and we want to we want to assess lots of different design and do a real design optimization. But we know that we could look at the geometry of the design as a parameter to change. And we also have some technical performance to achieve. So how can we best balance performance, sustainability, and cost? So how can we do this? So here we're going to see an example based on a truck suspension. And here we have different parameters that we can change. with different thicknesses or width or height. And when doing a material selection, we want to look at 3 different materials. So here we took 3 quite different materials just for the purpose of this exercise, so that it's clearer. In most cases, it's rare that you go from an aluminium to a titanium, but you may go from one type of aluminium to another. And then what we are doing is automating this process and looking at hundreds of designs and combinations, and each time looking at the objectives that we are interested in terms of, here we have looked at the mass and the maximum displacement. And we have so obviously we have some simulation tools, but we have one simulation tool that we've used in this exercise, which is called Ansys Discovery, because it's very, very fast simulations. So here we're going to look at each material, and each material is appearing in a different color. So in blue we have the aluminiums, in red the titanium, and in green the steel. And you can see each data point represents a specific design. So I've got a video on this as well. I'm going to cut this sound. Here we go. So we have that truck suspension. What we have done is we have started from a CAD file, and then we have imported it into Ansys Discovery, and then we can parameterize the design in Discovery, showing which parameters can change and by how much. Now we are opening OptiSlang, which is the tool. Hold on, let me go back 1 second. Here we go. In OptiSlang, this is the tool where we will set up this framework. So you can see the different steps. First is the material data. Then we have we get the material data into OptiSlang. We do the simulation in Discovery. We do a price calculation, simple price calculation based on the materials data. And we use the BOM analyzer, like I showed you before, in Granta MI to do a sustainability calculation. And then we get the outputs in OptiSlang. So let's do this. So first we go to MI. This is Discovery. And this is OptiSlang for the results analysis. So let's do this step by step. So we have our design, like I showed before. We have parameterized it with the different values that we want to. We know we can change things by. We are going to build a list of the 3 materials that we want to consider: this aluminium, the titanium, and the steel. And this list will be automatically imported into Discovery using the built-in node that we have for materials. So here we're going to say, okay, we have the 3 materials, and then we can choose which properties we want to add as well. So we have added the price in terms of export that we want to add. And now in Discovery, we're going to choose the parameters that we want to evolve. And in green, we have the objectives or the outputs that we would like to consider. So this is the simple price calculation that will be done as well using OptiSlang, and the BOM analytics use from Granta to estimate the sustainability response. So this way we'll have the performance, the price, and the sustainability. So we run the simulations, and in OptiSlang we get all this list of different designs that we have tried. We can use the OptiSlang visualization tools to see the different results. So here we have the price against the displacement, and we can see the different colors. So we see that the green steel looks very good, and the titanium, but the aluminium, which I would have thought would have been the best compromise, is not so attractive, especially when you look at the embodied energy or the CO2 footprint. But very quickly you can estimate a lot of designs. And you can also see these spider plots, which allow you to see, again, these three different materials, the different criteria that you decided to make evolve, and the outputs you were looking for. So very quickly, you have a framework to optimize designs using Ansys tools and high quality materials data. So this is all I wanted to cover today. I hope that's been interesting. But really, to recap, we're helping you. We're trying to help engineers consider sustainability early in design when they make material decisions, in the same way as they could consider other criteria. To share information within a company in a very efficient way, including your own information and maybe suppliers' information, making quick evaluations of designs at the time when it doesn't cost much to make changes, and then automating parameterized studies of different designs for taking into account the environment in design optimization, with the full digital thread, both for sustainability and the rest of the material information of interest. So I hope that was clear. Any questions, please? I think Tisa will ask them now. And to find out more, this is a QR code that linking you to a page on the 4IT-Go website.
Thank you, Anna Laura. Thank you very much. Indeed, we did receive some questions. I'm gonna read them out loud, and if you can provide the answers, Anna Laura, would be great, since we still have some time. The first question is, how often do you update your data, and where does the sustainability data come from?
So for sustainability, we have a strong partnership with EcoInvent, which is a company in Switzerland that is well recognized in terms of source of sustainability data. So this is where most of our data comes from, and we try to also cross-reference it against information we can find from supply chain or from company bodies like the Aluminium Association, etc. So this is how we work for sustainability data. And when you look in the software, the source of the data is clearly marked underneath, so you have an idea of where it comes from. When it comes to updates, we launch. We're in line with the Ansys update cycle, so we do two new releases per year, one in January and one in July. But for restricted substances, because the legislations change more frequently, we will then send customers who have the restricted substance data bundle, we will send them updates as they come out from the legislators.
Okay, thank you, Anne. Next one is, if I can't find a material in this database, can I add a new one used by my company?
Absolutely. So I'll maybe go back to one of the slides at the beginning. Sorry, it's right up. Oops, this one. So as you can see, if you don't have a material in the database, you can absolutely enter your own. It can come from any. You can add some new materials. You can add some new properties. You can absolutely create, not use our materials at all, and start with only your materials. You can do whatever you want, and it's yours. We don't have any visibility on it. Nor anybody else actually, unless you give them some access.
Okay, thank you. Then there are two questions, one on the webinar recording and one on sharing the slides. And this I will provide answer myself. So yes, you will receive the recording via email, including the slides afterwards. So don't worry about that. Anna Laura, the next question for you. How does this sustainability align with LSA requirements and reporting documentation?
So as I showed, what we allow you to do is we allow you to, it's not a full LCA software. What we do is more eco-audit. It's really, it goes from cradle to gate. So you analyze the materials assigned, you can add the manufacturing processes linked to the materials, and you can also add the transport phase. So if you want to look at, should I make it there or should I make it there, or if I make it out of steel, it will be made from this factory, but if I make it out of aluminium, it will be probably coming from this place. So you can do this kind of estimation, but it's not a full LCA. However, when it comes to reporting, what we help put in place is a very structured and solid way of capturing information. And what I have seen over the last year is that the main issues with complying with reporting is having this in place, having this really easy and robust way of capturing data in a way that makes it really easy to then do the reporting. So even if you use all the information you have from your BOM and from your PLM and then input it into an LCA software, this will be a lot quicker than without this method.
Thank you. I have two more. Can I evade the tedious process of acquiring compliance documents from each supplier by using your system?
I didn't understand this. Could you repeat?
Yes. Can I evade the tedious process of acquiring compliance documents from each supplier by using your system?
Yes. So what you could do is when it comes to entering data into the software, we have some very automated way, and one way is and I didn't choose to show it, but we could show. We have automated templates that can be shared with suppliers, and which can then be dragged and dropped back into the system. So yeah, the idea is really to help improve the quality of the data you have over time by maybe starting with some of our reference data and then going to much more accurate data and specific to the products you're designing from your supply chain specifically.
Thank you. And then the last one, is there a parameter on the materials database that relates to the tolerance group on plastic parts to select materials also based on achievable precision or tight tolerances?
I'm not sure I can fully
Let me
fully
repeat
no, I
if
understand. I understood what you said. I just don't know how to answer. So maybe I will have to answer as a follow-up.
Okay, no problem. Then this question, Miguel, you will receive the answer via email after the webinar. Thank you, everyone. I think we came to the end now. Thank you, Anna Laura. Thank you again, everyone who joined. With this, we are gonna stop now, and I wish you all, a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.